The Castle Wolf of Bernstein. The year was 1468, and the Black Forest loomed darker than ever, shrouded in mist and secrets. Bernstein Castle, perched atop its ancient hill, sat like a brooding beast against the night sky. Its walls, now weathered and cracked by the passage of time, held a sinister reputation, spoken of only in hushed whispers at tavern hearths. Among the fearful villagers of Bernstein, there was one name that no one dared utter after dark: the Wolf of Bernstein. Klaus Ritter, a former mercenary with more scars than coin, found himself drawn to the tales of hidden riches buried deep within the crumbling walls of the old castle. Like many before him, Klaus was a desperate man, one who had traded his sword for a shot at wealth, but unlike others he carried a darkness within him, forged in blood and betrayal during the endless wars that had ravaged the land. He'd killed for less, and the promise of gold gleamed like a beacon in his mind. They told him the castle was cursed, that the last Baron of Bernstein had hidden a treasure so vast it could buy an empire. But the Baron had died in his greed, alone in the castle, and since then, something stalked the halls. Those who sought the treasure were never seen again. The only proof of their existence was the distant howl of a lone wolf that echoed through the hills at night. But Klaus was not one to be scared by tales. He had seen death's hand up close and had no fear of a wolf, be it flesh or spirit. He armed himself with a dagger, a short sword, and a flask of harsh liquor. His thoughts were dark, but his heart was darker still. He would take the gold. If the beast came for him, it would die like any other. The night was thick with fog when Klaus reached the castle. Its once proud gates were now little more than rotted wood, hanging limply on rusted hinges. The wind howled, but there was a whisper beneath it, almost like the breath of a dying man. Klaus pushed through the gates and entered the main hall. Ruined tapestries lined the walls, depicting forgotten battles and faded heraldry. The air was stale, thick with the scent of decay. Klaus could hear the scurrying of rats, and in the far distance, the faintest of howls. Ignoring it, he made his way deeper into the castle, descending into the catacombs, where the treasure was said to be hidden. The tunnels were a maze of stone and shadow. Klaus lit a torch, but the flame flickered uneasily, casting long, twisted shapes across the walls. He felt the cold, a biting chill that sank deep into his bones. His breath came in ragged clouds, each exhale a reminder of the life he clung to. But as he ventured further, he could not shake the feeling that something was watching him, something ancient, something patient. Then he heard it, a low growl so deep it seemed to reverberate through the stone itself. Klaus froze, his heart hammering in his chest. The torchlight flickered again, and out of the darkness eyes appeared, glowing amber eyes, filled with malice. The Wolf of Bernstein. It was no ordinary wolf. It was enormous, its fur matted with the dirt and blood of centuries. Its eyes held an unnatural intelligence, something beyond the primal instincts of a beast. Its lips curled back in a snarl, revealing rows of yellowed teeth. Klaus could feel its hatred, its hunger. In a flash, the wolf lunged. Klaus barely had time to draw his sword, the blade scraping against stone as the beast bore down on him. The fight was vicious and quick. Klaus swung wildly, trying to drive the creature back, but the wolf moved like a shadow, darting in and out of the light, its teeth flashing in the darkness. Klaus screamed as its jaws clamped down on his arm, the torch falling to the ground. The flame guttered out and they were plunged into darkness. He fought with everything he had, slashing at the creature, but it was relentless. The wolf seemed to toy with him, driving him deeper into the tunnels, where the air grew colder and the walls seemed to close in. At last Klaus stumbled into a chamber, his body broken and bleeding. In the center of the room there was a massive stone sarcophagus, untouched by time, the Baron's final resting place, and the treasure. But there was no gold, no jewels, only the bones of those who had come before, scattered like offerings at the foot of the tomb. Klaus fell to his knees, gasping for breath as the wolf circled him, its glowing eyes fixed on him. In that moment, Klaus realized the truth. The treasure was the curse. The Baron had not been guarding gold. He had been guarding something far worse. The souls of the damned, bound to the castle, to suffer for eternity under the watchful gaze of the beast. The wolf stopped before him, its breath hot on his face. It stared into his eyes, and in that gaze, Klaus saw everything. The pain, the fear, the agony of those who had come before him. And he knew his fate was sealed. With one final growl, the wolf lunged, and Klaus's screams were lost to the darkness. In the village below, the howl of the castle wolf echoed through the hills once more, a reminder to all who heard it that some treasures were never meant to be found. And Bernstein Castle remained as it always had, standing sentinel over its secrets, guarded by the beast that would never sleep.